Over a week into Ukraine's surprise incursion into Russia's Kursk region on August 6th, Kiev says its forces have advanced nearly 400 square miles into Russian territory. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy said on August 14th that Ukraine controlled 74 settlements in the southwestern Russian region. Zelenskyy said the operation proved Ukraine is capable of defending our interest and our independence. Moscow is framing Ukrainian operations as terrorist attacks and has blamed the United States for arming Ukraine. No one hides the fact that American weapons have become a murder weapon of ordinary Russians. Attacks on schools, hospitals, ambulances, and residential buildings in Russia cannot be recognized as a right of self-defense. That is false. Russia's 2022 invasion of Ukraine, condemned by the United Nations General Assembly, has inflicted devastation and profound human suffering in Ukraine. The United Nations Charter guarantees Ukraine's inherent right of individual or collective self-defense in Article 51, Part 7. Experts on international law and Western officials widely agree that Ukraine has the right to strike military targets in Russia to thwart Russian aggression. Intentional attacks on civilians and indiscriminate attacks on civilian populations are war crimes. But international law recognizes that civilians and civilian structures may be subject to unintentional harm during military operations, although that harm must be limited. Civilians have suffered during the fighting in Kursk, as Russian authorities initially failed to execute an organized evacuation of the region. Still, there is no indication Ukraine is using disproportionate force or intentionally targeting civilians, and Ukraine is working to open humanitarian corridors for the evacuation of civilians. Russia, by contrast, systematically targets Ukrainian civilians and civilian infrastructure with missile strikes, killing and injuring thousands of people. The United Nations said July was the deadliest month for Ukrainian civilians since the invasion of February 2022.